Hello and welcome to Who Won the Week, your weekly dose of TV advertising news and analysis. My name is Aaron Taube, and today we are going to be talking about America's national pastime and an international phenomenon that's starting to break new ground here in the States. But first, I am joined today by a man who is a proud Padre in San Diego, but is nonetheless a San Francisco Giants fan. EDO's VP of Client Development, Will Borba. Will, how are you today?
Good. Thanks, Aaron. Just to clarify that intro, definitely do not identify as a Padre. Full black and orange, as you can see from what I'm wearing on my hat.
I'm just saying, it's like Father, Padre, it's kind of all right, maybe not.
Hey, that is a good
Can't
Father's Day intro to Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
what could be better than talking a little baseball heading into Father's Day? Will, did you get a chance to see some of the London series this past weekend?
I did. I did. I watched a little bit of the game on Sunday. I followed it, right? I think it was blowing up on, social media and, trying to see how the game has grown internationally into, I would say, a market that traditionally hasn't adopted it as well as maybe Central and South America and Asia. But great to see baseball being played at Wembley Stadium.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was the London Stadium, if I'm not incorrect, the Olympic Stadium rather than Wembley, I believe. Home to West Ham United for our soccer fans in the audience. Um, But yeah, how did these special games do for advertisers? Did this draw additional interest to, sort of the regular games that are played in the US?
Yeah, it was a hit. The London series on Fox outperformed the MLB average performance by 35%. And then the London series on ESPN actually outperformed the average by 56%. So just a great indicator that this was a big event with an engaged viewership watching your Mets versus the Phillies, which are two, I would say, very passionate fan bases. But overall, it was just a hit for advertisers to be a part of the London series.
Yeah, yeah, I watched the game Sunday from a bar, and with a bunch of Phillies fans. They were pretty well behaved for Philadelphia sports fans, so I do have to commend them. And of course, when we're just doubling back, when we talk about engagement, can you tell our viewers just a little bit? I know we do this show every week, but what do we mean by consumer engagement when we're talking about the series on ESPN outperforming the regular games by 56%?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about driving ad efficacy, right? Of when that ad is aired across a certain network with whatever creative message it is, EDO is measuring what the consumer behavior is from that ad driven incrementality standpoint of, okay, I was exposed to an ad. Did I take an action to either go search for that brand or go visit that brand's webpage in the immediate, following subsequent time frame of 2 to 5 minutes. So that's a very key indicator that we can then report back to our broadcast partners and our brand partners on the overall success of airing across MLB's London series.
Got it. Cool. So yeah, if I'm an advertiser and I'm looking, what's the next big event coming up in baseball in terms of sort of some of these marquee games that advertisers might be looking forward to?
Yeah, next week on June 20th, I'm very excited to share that my Giants will be playing the St. Louis Cardinals in a game at Rickwood Field as a tribute to the Negro Leagues, which will be played in Birmingham, Alabama. A lot of history involved, two historic franchises that both have a lot of championship banners hanging at both their stadiums. So it's going to be a really big event. Rickwood Field is actually the oldest professional ballpark in the U.S., and it was the former home of the Birmingham Black Barons, which was a team in the Negro Leagues. And the Birmingham Black Barons called Rickwood Field home from 1924 through 1960. And for all the baseball fans out there, this is maybe not as widely known, but Willie Mays actually began his professional career with the Black Barons in 1948 before joining the then New York Giants and then making the move out west to become the San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, that's really cool. Willie Mays, I think probably we can all agree most famous for his for his role on the 1973 National League champion New York Mets. A
Exactly,
Mets, a
exactly.
legend on both coasts.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's an exciting game. I'll definitely be tuning into that. Another thing we want to talk about when it comes to baseball is summer is here, and it's a time for treats. I don't know about, are you a big treats guy, Will?
I'm more salty than savory, but
Okay.
I do agree. Like, you have to be snacking on something while you're watching baseball. I default to peanuts or a pretzel, but I love seeing soft serve in a helmet at the stadium. I think that's also a delicious treat.
Oh, you can't beat a soft serve and a helmet. So yeah, it's big time for quick service restaurants, your fast food joints, big advertisers in the Major League Baseball. And can you tell me a little bit about some of these brands that we've been seeing who've been really performing well during Major League Baseball this year?
Yeah, MLB fans are hungry. And what we've seen is Taco Bell has actually been the most effective QSR advertiser in the field so far, with viewership being 59% more likely to engage online than a viewer of the typical QSR ad. We've seen success with creative messaging from Taco Bell touting their new products like the Big Cheez It and the Cantina Chicken Quesadilla. Next, what we've seen in second place is Dairy Queen, where viewers are 55% more likely to engage with the brand message during an MLB game. And of course, right, to no surprise, they're having success promoting their blizzards. It's that time of year, right? The temperatures are rising and you need to cool off. And I think the blizzard is a nationally acknowledged treat that everyone enjoys. And then in third place is KFC, with viewership being 31% more likely to engage. While it's been promoting deals with the tagline of "Son of a bucket," that's a good deal.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think a good mix of stuff going on out there. I saw some of the ads for the blizzards. Might one of those chocolate black brownie flavors I think is calling my name. I gotta find my closest location. And yeah, it's an exciting time to watch baseball, to eat treats. Um, but did you know that there was a sporting event out on Long Island last weekend that was watched by about 500 million people worldwide? Were you aware of this?
Briefly, because of what you shared to me, but was not on my radar until this week.
Yeah, that's right. The Cricket World Cup is being played in the United States right now, which is wild. Just playing in different locations across the country. I know there's some games in Texas. There's this game on Long Island this past weekend. It was between two superpowers and geopolitical rivals, India and Pakistan. That was just watched by like 500 million people and all over the world. And I think what's interesting is we're really seeing a globalization of sports culture here in the United States. I think we're all used to living in a world where you can go anywhere in Asia, Europe, Africa. If you say, I'm from Chicago in Osaka, Japan, someone's going to be like, oh, yeah, Michael Jordan. Right. And so I think we're used to us exporting. But now we're starting to see this cricket thing has a chance to take off. I know a lot of people think of cricket as being this really um, like long game, like the game can take 1 day or 2 days, but they've created a new kind like 20 years ago called T20, where it only takes 3 hours. That's what's being played in this World Cup. And the games are on Willow TV, which is a specialty cricket channel that you can get on cable and streaming. Cricket's going to be in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. And I just think it's really fascinating to see this happening now in the wake of just the extraordinary growth that we've seen of Formula One racing, of the English Premier League. Um, what do you make of all this? Do you see the U.S. consumers and sports fans becoming more open to some of these international sports that haven't been popular here? And do you think cricket has a chance to be the next F1?
Yeah, I love it. As an avid sports fan, I mean, baseball will always have my heart, but I love putting on a game and just watching competition, especially at the international level. So it was great to see, the U.S. upset Pakistan this weekend. And also selfishly, as an Oracle alum, was great to see that an Oracle engineer was actually part of Team USA with that upset. But agreed, it's definitely a combination of, I think, exposure here in the U.S. market to, say, traditionally international type sports that haven't had the main stage, such as golf or tennis. Um, and it's really exciting to see. Like with F1, I really got into F1 during the pandemic, where you were up, at different times of the night or whatnot for whatever reason, and I really got into it when ESPN was broadcasting it. And in 2022, ESPN actually signed a 3-year deal with F1 to broadcast the practice, the trials, and the actual race. So it's a 3-day event each week. And that was around 75 to 90 million per year, and a massive increase, from what the Disney owned broadcaster's previous contract was, which was it was only worth 5 million annually. So you think about that exponential
Extraordinary growth.
investment happening. It's really, really big.
Yeah, that is something else. That is incredible. And we've also seen big growth, the English Premier League here. The Premier League, their deal with NBC Universal, who has done a really fabulous job with it. It's worth up $450 million a season, and that's more than 5 times the deal they signed in 2013. So you're really seeing the growth of these sports. And yeah, I know new deal with the French Open coming up. That was just signed. Yeah, it's a really interesting and exciting time.
Yeah, I think the streamers are really doing a good job exposing the U.S. market to new sports and having us, find new people to root for. I think, Drive to Survive F1, that definitely played a huge pivotal role in the boom of F1, hype here in the U.S., where we've now gotten, I believe, 3 races with Austin, Miami, and Vegas. They also have Breakpoint, which is their tennis documentary series that helps us understand the new and up and coming generation, which we're seeing before our eyes as kind of the old guard of tennis is now retiring. Amazon has a great documentary that my wife and I started watching on women's surfing, which is really interesting to see that lifestyle and also kind of get engaged for the upcoming Paris Games, where surfing will be I believe, the first event broadcasted while they'll be in French Polynesia for the event.
That's awesome. I'm excited to watch it. I know nothing about surfing. I have no idea like how it would even be scored. So I'm excited to
Well, you
see
have to
it.
learn. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta learn. I gotta watch the documentary on Amazon. So yeah, no, I think it's a really fascinating. What the F1 thing with Drive to Survive is like you just turned around and everyone I knew was and particularly among women, it feels like has they've done a really fantastic job of making the sport appealing.
Yeah, there's definitely a political, fashion, lifestyle element to the race car
Yes.
drivers and the teams that go beyond just about sitting in the car. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's an exciting time, and yeah, anything else you're looking forward to in the world of domestic or international sports before we sign off today?
US Open, which is coming up, right? Typically around Father's Day. So it should be a big treat to be able to watch some golf. And hopefully we'll see if Scotty Scheffler can, get another big prize.
Awesome. Well, Will, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful Father's Day, and
Same to you.
we'll see all our viewers next week. Take care.
Awesome. Go Giants.